fucking nerd. Welcome back to SkywayTj, everyone, and another video on the channel. Today, we're going to be ranking all of the X-Men films. Now, I just want to get something out of the way really quickly. I just watched all these movies, so they're fresh in my mind. I feel like I have my personal list down packed, and I'm really happy about it. The only thing that won't be on this list is the Deadpool movies, because, spoiler alert, Deadpool was so good that it would probably just outrank all of the X-Men films, except, like, one. So, you know, Deadpool isn't going to be on this list. He's great. He's barely a part of the X-Men universe in the first place. He's in his own little pocket. So no Deadpool. But we have all 11 of the X-Men movies on here. So let's go ahead and rank them, because ranks are fun. In absolute dead last, and to no one's surprise, is X-Men Origins Wolverine. This movie could have been a lot cooler if they had just focused on a different path. In the first few minutes, we get a montage of Wolverine and his brother Sabretooth fighting in a bunch of wars throughout history. That should have been the movie. Imagine you have a movie just watching Wolverine fight in all of America's wars. That'd be fucking sick. But instead, we got a bunch of crap with, like, stitched up Deadpool mouth. They ruined Deadpool. You know why it's last. Everyone agrees it's the last one. It's poop. Yuck, yuck, oop. I never realized this shirt kind of looks like it has piss all over it. 10. We have The Last Stand. X-Men 3, X-Men The Last Stand, whatever you want to call it. This movie probably would have been fine if they had focused on one of the two storylines. Like, you also have a cure storyline, right? Where they're introducing a cure to the world to, like, cure the X-Men and their mutations. And Magneto's against that because, you know, it would be weaponized, and it is. But then they try to fucking shove in the Dark Phoenix storyline, and they don't focus on it, and it's kind of like the subplot. And then at the end, you got fucking Jean Grey just kind of standing in the background looking very angry the whole time until her time to come where she starts fucking shit up. But, like, it's just cringe. Like, they didn't handle it right. And plus it has, you know, I'm the Juggernaut, bitch! Like, I don't care how funny that is now. In a movie that's trying to take it so seriously, that's so fucking bad. Like, yuck. No. Right above that at number 9 is Dark Phoenix. I just don't think this company handled the Dark Phoenix storyline very well. It doesn't ever come off like they're pacing it correctly or writing the story well enough. The thing with Dark Phoenix is, like, I think you needed to put it in multiple movies, so it's built up over time so you actually care about Jean Grey and the other characters that this is affecting, but in these movies, we only got Sophie Turner for Apocalypse, and then the next movie, you know, the Phoenix shit's going on. And it doesn't even make any sense either, because 10 years earlier in Apocalypse, she used the Phoenix Force, it seemed, to kill Apocalypse. So why are we doing the Dark Phoenix storyline 10 years after that? It doesn't make any fucking sense. I get that her power's always been inside her, and that the cosmic rays and Dark Phoenix really brought it out of her, but I don't like that. It's lazy. I don't know. It just doesn't feel like it's focused, and I know a lot of the ending was reshot because it was coming out at the same time as Captain Marvel, and they had very similar endings. But the movies are similar in the first place with the shape-shifting alien aspect, so you probably could have just kept the original ending, and then it might have been better. But overall, it probably wouldn't have been, because the X-Men franchise they had already been bought up by Disney by this point. They knew it was going down. They didn't care. Right over to that, number 8 is X-Men Apocalypse. I don't hate Apocalypse as much as some of my friends do. I do think it is not well acted, really, and it's kind of all over the place. Oscar Isaac I fucking love, but in this movie, he is not good as Apocalypse, and I don't understand why Apocalypse even needs his 4 horsemen. I'm pretty sure it's just an excuse to get Magneto in the movie, but, like, his other horsemen, I mean, you got young Storm in there, and the actress is great, but besides her, why the fuck did we need Angel or Archangel or whatever? And Psylocke was cool, but, like, she didn't do anything. It just feels, it doesn't feel right. I don't know how to describe it. It's just not, I'm not getting jiggy with it, you know? There are better ones, and we'll talk about them. At number 7, I have The Wolverine. Again, the Wolverine movies aren't my favorite, but I think The Wolverine is better than the 2 last, like, big X-Men movies. And that's saying something, because when I watched it the first time, I was like, okay, this is kind of boring. Like, I don't care about his love interest. Didn't make any sense to me in the Wolverine. And because they're just two people running from the bad guys the whole movie, and they're just suddenly in love. I think it's whatever. The villain in the Wolverine doesn't make, I mean, it does make sense. It's just predictable as hell. Like, as soon as the dude brings him to Japan, he's like, oh, it's my last wish to see the guy who saved my life. And then he just starts rambling about how he wants to help Logan get rid of his power, and he wants to be immortal and everything. And then at the end, he dies, and then at the end, there's a big old samurai. Come on. We knew who that was. It's fine. It's a fun movie. It has fun action. It's just, you know, there are better X-Men movies. I'm probably going to catch a lot of flack for this, but next up I have The New Mutants. I know this movie suffers a lot from the X-Men series is pretty much dead at this point. They had already got bought out by Disney. The movie itself kind of feels like a TV pilot, and the characters are kind of jumbled when it comes to being well written or not. But I liked when I saw the visuals creep me out. I'm a big fan of horror movies, so anytime you get to mix superhero stuff in with horror, I really like that. And I enjoyed what I saw for the most part. You got Charlie Heaton in there, who I love in Stranger Things. You got Anya Taylor-Joy, who the fuck doesn't love Anya Taylor-Joy at this point? She was great. It's just, I know we're never going to see those characters again, and this one feels like it's kind of its own little pocket in the X-Men franchise, and I enjoyed it a lot more than other people did. Plus, Demon Bear is fucking cool, all right? Fuck you. Demon Bear is great. Cracking into the top 5 is the original X-Men. I think it's actually very well casted. Wolverine is excellently played by Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman is 100% the best part about these movies. You can argue for Patrick Stewart as Professor X and Ian McKellen as Magneto. They're all great alone, but I think Hugh Jackman was the perfect choice for Wolverine, and he does an amazing job. This movie really gets you excited for the future of these movies and what they were. It's not perfect in any way. Rogue is a bit weird, and the dynamic between Wolverine and Rogue seems a bit off, but for the most part I enjoyed it, and I like the other characters in there. You got Jean Grey and Cyclops. It's a fun time, but there are some things that are cringe, like, you know, Halle Berry's wonderful line about Toad. She's like, oh, you know what happens to a toad when it's struck by lightning? The same as anything else. Iconic line. Super good. Next up, we have X2, or like X-Men 2, X-Men United, or whatever. It has a bunch of titles. We'll just call it X2. I really like this one. I think it's the best of the original, like, trilogy. I really like watching the forces team up. So watching Magneto and Professor X actually work together to go stop Stryker in his facility where he's being a dickhead. Really like that. I think it's casted very well, and it just has a lot of action scenes that I really like, and it's very good. I don't know what else to say. At number 3, we have X-Men First Class. I think this movie is fantastic, and I know it's a reboot of the series, but also kind of like a prequel. They tried their best to merge the timelines together, and I think they did okay. It's a bit off. But anyway, First Class is great. You get to see how Professor X and Magneto meet, and how they eventually, you got Mystique in there. I think all the young actors play a pretty good job. James McAvoy does an excellent job as Professor X, and Michael Fassbender is fucking amazing as Magneto. He might be the best actor in this, like, prequel parts. It's really, really fun, and I enjoy it a whole bunch. And it is a bit weird that, you know, the X-Men were involved in the Cuban Missile Crisis. But it is fun to see how McAvoy and Fassbender portray their Magneto and Professor X, and how they eventually become those older characters that we really love. And I think their dynamic is great, and they're the best parts of these first movies. And you get Beast in there, finally. Love Beast. Now, 1 and 2 are pretty much tied. I have a hard time picking between which one I like more, because they're pretty much at the same level. But for right now, at number 2, I have Logan. Now, I know Logan is considered the best X-Men movie, and I probably agree with you. It's just that for me, for superhero movies, I really like the team-up ones. The solo ones are great, and I love them, but I really love, like, the team-up movies. So I have Logan at number 2, and I really like Logan. It's fantastic. Hugh Jackman, again, gives the best performance of the entire X-Men franchise. Patrick Stewart does a great send-off to Charles Xavier. Really, really, really like what they did in that movie. And Daphne Keane coming in as the new Wolverine. She's amazing. I love that Wolverine goes out fighting like a hero and he gets those kids to the border. Amazing movie. A great send-off to the character. Even though we just confirmed that he's coming back in Deadpool 3, but that one's going to be taking place in a different pocket universe. They even said that Logan is its own thing. It'll never be touched, and that actually happened. And what a good way to do that, because a lot of people love Logan. So, and I do too. So I'm glad it's there, and it's definitely number 2. It's an amazing film. But yeah, number 1 for me is X-Men Days of Future Past. Again, it's just because I really like teams of superheroes and like the team-up moments. And watching the original X-Men cast and most of the original X-Men cast and the prequel cast kind of meet, and they're all in the same movie, and I really enjoy that. Watching Wolverine go back in time to stop a plan that would get the Sentinels built, so the X-Men in the past have to fight while the X-Men in the future are getting attacked at the same time. I really like that shit. I like a good dramatic build-up like that, and the conclusion is fun, and it mostly fixed the problems that people had with the X-Men timelines. It erased The Last Stand and X-Men Origins Wolverine, and it just kind of, you know, existed and try to make things better. We can appreciate that. It didn't work, but we can appreciate that they tried, and I just like it a lot. Doesn't make sense all the time, but it's probably the best X-Men movie. It's probably Logan, but you know, I'm biased towards superhero team-ups, so you know that. Well, anyway, guys, that was my X-Men ranked video. Hope you guys enjoyed that. If you did, please drop a like, subscribe for more. I make videos at least once a week. That's what I'm aiming for. I have all my socials and the gaming channel in the bio. And yeah, the next series I'm planning on watching is... It's a toss-up. I might do a horror franchise because Halloween's around the corner. So I might do like Nightmare on Elm Street or Friday the 13th or Halloween. One of them maybe. In terms of like action movies, I might watch the Transformers movies because I've never seen any of them either. So I don't know. There's a whole bunch of things, but I am going to rank every big series that I haven't seen yet on the channel because I think that's fun. I love rank videos. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.